Hi there, BMW owners. Today in your 2017 BMW X3, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install Curt's 4-pole trailer vehicle wiring harness. And this is what our wiring looks like when it's installed. That's right, you can't see it at all because this wiring is designed to stay inside of our vehicle. And I personally like the ones that stay inside better, even though it might seem like it's slightly more inconvenient, but it's protected from the elements. And these are going to last way longer than any outside mounted connector. It's located in the storage compartment on the left side, and when you're ready to use it, you just pull it out, drape it out the back. You can reinstall the storage compartment if you want, or you could just leave the storage compartment off. It's really up to you, just on how you wanted to do it. We're just going to run it over towards the center here, and we'll hit our button, and we're going to drape it down the back. You do just want to avoid the striker in the middle, as the weather stripping will pinch our wiring, and it's not going to cause any damage to the wiring. It's actually going to hold it right into place, which is what we're looking for. You can then have the length that you need for your particular trailer down here, plug up, and you're ready to go. This is going to be a standard 4-pole flat trailer connector. So it's going to give you all of your necessary lighting signals. That includes your left turn signal, right turn signal, tail lamps, and brake lamps, which will keep you DOT compliant in all states. There's an included dust cap, so if you did want to keep out any dirt and debris, maybe you're hooking up a few trailers, moving some stuff around, and it's not going to be connected the entire time. You can also use it as a mount on your hitch here by looping it around the safety chain loop, and that way it'll hold it up off the road so it's ready for you here at the back when you're ready to plug up to that next trailer. Now that we've covered some of the features of our wiring, why don't you follow along with me and I'll show you how to get it installed. With the battery in the back on your BMW, it makes it actually pretty quick and easy. We'll begin our installation at the back of the vehicle. With our lift gate open, we'll need to remove some panels so we can access our wiring to install it and get it routed. We're going to start by pulling up the one here in the middle. This one just pulls out and we can just set it aside, get it out of the way. And then there's going to be some panels on the sides that we're going to pull off next. And there's handles for these. Just grab the handle and just give them a tug outward. They'll pop right off of there. We're going to pop the other one off on the other side also. And then in the center you'll have two little pins right here. They've got a slot in the center. Turn those counterclockwise to release them. And then we can lift this up, and that's going to reveal our battery tray below it. Now that we've got our components removed, we can start routing our wiring. We're going to start on the driver's side over here by getting some of the wires that are short on our module connected up. The longer wires we're going to route across to the other side. First, you'll need to find your wires. Here's the grommet where your taillight wires poke through to go outside to go to the taillight. So if you just follow that down, I did peel off a little bit of the sheathing here. There's some just little piece wrapped around it. And that'll get you to a point where there's some exposed wires here so we can make our connections. There's going to be 3 wires here. You're going to have a brown wire, a yellow wire with a black stripe, and a blue wire with a green stripe. We're concerned with the yellow and the blue wires. The yellow wire is our tail light and stop circuit signal. So we're going to start with our connection there. Since our tail and stop are on the same circuit, that means we're going to be using the red wire to connect to that circuit. So we're going to take the quick splices that come in our kit, and they look just like this here. And I usually find it's a little easier if you take the quick splice and just kind of spread it open a little bit. Just makes it easier to get the wire in there. We're going to slide it over the factory wire, and we want the yellow one since that's our tail and stop. So we're going to slide it just over that one. And we want to make sure it's all the way on there. This wire needs to be in its little groove. So okay, we got that in its little groove. And then the other hole, the other groove here is going to where we're going to put our red wire. So we're just going to take the red wire, we're going to slide it in the other hole. After you've got your wires slid in, take a pair of pliers or channel locks and squeeze the metal tab until it's fully inserted. Once you've got it fully inserted, you can take the lock tab, fold it over, and lock it down. Next, we'll take our blue wire. We're going to slide our quick splice on it. Then we're going to grab our yellow wire. We're going to slide it up in there, and then we're going to crimp it on to this side. This will be our driver's side left turn signal here. Just double check those. Looks like those are fine. So now we've got our driver's side connected over here. We're going to take the brown wire and the white wire here. These are both going to be our ground wires. So we're going to go ahead and connect the ground wire here. And the easiest way to do this is to find an existing stud. There's a bolt right here, so we're going to go ahead and remove that one and see if we can connect it right onto that. We're just going to snip this off with a 10mm socket. We'll take our white wire, slide the bolt through the pre-attached ring terminal, and then we're just going to reinstall that bolt right back from where we removed it from. And since our stop and our turn signal are the same circuit on our BMW, the brown wire, which is normally your taillight wire, needs to be grounded since it doesn't have its own dedicated wire. And what we're going to do this is we're just going to take one of the extra quick splices that come in our kit. I'm going to trim off the wire a little bit, and we're just going to quick splice the brown wire to our white wire. Just kind of lining the wires up so that way they're somewhat even. Make sure those wires are fully inserted and then squeeze them down. Next, we'll route our green wire across to the other side. I like to feed it underneath all the panels here as we feed it across to keep our install nice and clean. So on the passenger side now, we've got our wire routed over to this side. You're going to follow it down. This one, you're going to have to cut the sheathing off. And you also have this fabric here that's in the way. So just kind of just carefully work around the fabric and carefully remove the sheathing so you can expose the wires. And just like we did on the driver's side, we connected our green wire over here, which is our passenger turn indicator, to the turn indicator wire over here, which is going to be the blue wire with the brown stripe. Now we're going to make our connection to our battery. We just need to power the unit up. Our battery is located right here. We'll have a fuse harness in our kit. We're going to hook it to the battery post right there. The distance from here to where we're going to mount the module over here is pretty close, but we're not going to be able to quite make a direct connection from our fuse harness to the black wire on our module. You do get a bunch of extra black wire though in your kit, so we're going to use some of this to just route from our battery here over to where our module is going to mount over here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this wire routed over there. You're not going to need a whole lot of it, just probably about a foot or two will do the job. So I've got that wire routed up. We can go ahead and make our connection to our battery here. We're going to take our fuse harness. We're going to cut the loop here, and then we'll strip back each end of the fuse harness. On one end, we're going to crimp on the ring terminal that comes in our kit, and on the other end, we're going to crimp on one of the butt connectors, and then crimping it in place. Then a ring terminal over on this side. Okay, and now we can lift up on the cover here to expose the nut. We'll remove the nut with a 13mm socket. Slide the ring terminal on, and then reinstall your nut. The other side of our fuse harness, we're going to connect to that black wire that we routed over. So we're just going to strip back some of the black wire, poke it into our butt connector attached to the harness, and then we'll crimp the two together. Now at this point, we can take some of this black wire, bring it back. I do like to leave some excess over here just because it gives you a kind of an opportunity to hide the fuse down in here and be able to pull it up. So I do like to leave a little bit of excess. That way our fuse will tuck right in there. And then over back at our module, we just need to make a connection for the power wire here. So we've got plenty of length. So again, I like to leave myself just a little bit of excess. So now we'll cut our wire at about that length, strip it back, and then we'll use the other butt connector that comes included in our kit to attach these two wires together. Next, we're going to attach our module. There's a piece of cloth right here. We're going to pull that off and pop the clip out for it. So I just pop the clip out right here. You can pull the center out first. Trim panel tool or a flat-bladed screwdriver works nice, and the whole tab will pop out of there. And that's just going to release this flap right here. And we're just releasing this because this is where we're going to attach our module. There's carpet just about over everything, and the module attaches using double-sided adhesive. We're going to peel off one side, and we're going to attach it to the back of our module. We'll then use some alcohol on a cloth to clean the area behind the fabric that we had just pulled aside. That'll ensure that we have good adhesion to the surface. So just got a little bit of alcohol on a rag there. Make sure this area is nice and clean. We can then grab our module. We're going to peel off the adhesive backing on the other side. We're going to just fold this cloth forward, and I'm going to tuck the module up behind the cloth. And then we can actually fold the cloth back over and reinsert the pin, and that's going to hold that all in place for us. Sometimes it's easier to take the whole center piece out. The rest of our wiring we can just tuck in down here, and then you can use any of the included zip ties to zip tie it up to that factory wiring. Our 4-pole wiring we're going to leave in the storage compartment located right there. So now that we've got everything installed, the only thing that's left is to insert the fuse. Once the fuse is inserted, it'll put it in the learn mode because it does need to know what signals are what. So we're going to go ahead and plug in our tester here. You could also plug into your trailer because we want to see what's going on when we operate the lights here. So we're just going to plug this in, and then we're going to plug in our fuse, and then we'll hop in the vehicle after plugging in the fuse and operate our lights to program the module. And we can also verify that all of our turn signals are working properly when doing so. So now we're just going to operate all of our lights so that way it can learn their proper positions. So activate your tail lights. You also want to activate your brake lights, your left turn signal, and your right turn signal. At this point now, the module should be programmed. You can run back through your lights once again to verify that everything's working properly. We have our tail lights. We have our brake lights, left turn signal, and right turn signal. If they're not working properly, just double check your quick splices. Sometimes they're not quite fully inserted. And also you can run through the program procedure because sometimes it doesn't quite take the first time if you operate the signals too fast. Maybe slow down a little bit and let the signals run slightly longer. With everything working properly, we can go ahead and reinstall all the panels we had removed in reverse order that we took them out. And that completes our installation of Curt's 4-pole trailer connector vehicle wiring harness on our 2017 BMW X3.